Okay, so next today we move on to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, after owning the first pick overall in 2020 and selecting LSU star quarterback Joe Burrow, the Bengals find themselves high in the order once again with the 5th pick overall. They also hold the 38th in the second round, the 69th in the third round, their original 4th, 5th and 6th round picks, Miami's 6th round pick and Detroit's 7th, which came by the way of the Seahawks in the Carlos Dunlap trade. The Bengals improved to a 4-11 record in 2020 and were unfortunate to find themselves competing in arguably one of the NFL's toughest divisions, the AFC North. The loss of Burrow midway through the year to a catastrophic knee injury certainly did not help things, but it should be noted that they were sat on a 2-6-1 record going into that game and then finished 2-5 without him. Like the Panthers, who we previewed earlier, Cincinnati is a team with a fair few gaps in a roster. Offensively, the line needs serious investment. On the podcast last season, we kept on allaying our concerns for Joe Burrow's health until the inevitable happened in Week 11. Cincinnati gave up 48 sacks, which was the 6th most in the National Football League. They picked up tackle Riley Reiff in free agency, but he is at best a satisfactory aging vet and not a long-term solution. The interior line is just as patchy and the guard play was terrible, leading to not only sacks but the impotent run game that we saw from most of last year. The Bengals lost AJ Green to free agency, though his contributions in 2020 were arguably that of a wide receiver 3. Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins led the team with over 1,700 yards between them. Finally, as with nearly every other team that we've mentioned so far, tight end could be upgraded. Drew Sample was satisfactory at best, but I did feel that CJ Uzomah was showing great flashes before his injury. Defensively, the Bengals have spent a lot of time addressing cornerback. The departures of Mackenzie Alexander and William Jackson could have resulted in an urgent need. However, the signings of Chidobe Awuzie and Mark Hilton should be considered as upgrades. The one-year deal which I gave to Eli Apple as well gives depth. So cornerback has gone from a position where it could have been a need to one that's probably settled. Trey Henderson was brought in to bolster a pass rush that recently lost Carlos Dunlap and Geno Atkins, but it certainly feels as if this team needs both an additional edge rusher and a defensive tackle. So who do the Bengals go with? Assuming the Falcons stay at 4th in this year's draft, you're guaranteed to see either Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts or Penei Sewell, or at least 2 of those players at 5th. A case can be made for each of those guys. Now, plenty of Bengals fans are clamouring for Jamar Chase, reuniting Burrow with his favourite target at LSU. The Bengals actually picked up tight end Thaddeus Moss during this free agency, so it would certainly be friends reunited. While this is the pick for the misty-eyed romantics, my view is that wide receiver is less of a pressing need than offensive line, and therefore Sewell is the sensible pick. Going into round 2, the best players for the Bengals around pick 38 may well be interior offensive linemen. Now, top prospect Alijah Vera-Tucker will probably go in round 1, but if either Landon Dickerson or Creed Humphrey are available early in round 2, they could be tempting given Cincinnati's need. Now, Dickerson would certainly help to address the Bengals' issues running the ball, but his durability has been a major concern, so he may well slide and could be a bargain at the start of the 3rd round. That's the Bengals.